Hi, I'm Dan Phoenix. Today we're going to take a quick look at some of the advanced security configurations in the newer versions of NSX-T. Here we'll be working with NSX-T version 3.0.1, highlighting what we can do with the distributed IDS, as well as taking a quick look at NSX intelligence and segmenting some workloads after we discover there's a threat in the network. So really, we'll start just by quickly looking at the IDS here. We can see that we have some events that have occurred. These are events I've generated. I'm actually using over here just a basic Kali host, so we'll go ahead and execute this live so we can see. Go ahead and get logged in here real quick. So I have all this set up and running. You can see I ran the exploit here. I've typed in the shell command to get into the Windows command prompt, but we can get out of here and we can actually run it again just so we can see it. So here we can see that we have, using Metasploit, chose the EternalBlue exploit. We've already set the payload, set a couple commands. So you can see I set actually the remote host here, which is the server that we're attacking. So let's go ahead now and just, we can see we will run the exploit command and we'll watch the exploit kick off. We can see it try to connect to the server, and I'll just bounce back and forth so we can see this happening. It takes a couple seconds as everything gets set up here. But if we come back now, we can see the session now is open from myself, 2.20 over to 2.45. And we can see that we can see win and we have success. So now if I go ahead and type shell, I'm on the command line of that server. So again, I'm using a 2008 server that's unpatched here. Any newer patched Windows server is not going to have this vulnerability. However, we're highlighting the fact that there are many unpatched systems out there. So this is how easy it is to get in. And whether I want to look at the directory, I mean, I'm in the command line. I can, create files. I could do whatever. Let's just say we'll go back out of there and we can see where we're still connected to. Maybe we want to upload our malware. So we can upload malware, and I have a malware file that I created. Actually, what did I name it here? Let me see. Well, I go ahead and look at that. Oh yeah, I had the use the capital M in there, but let me do this again and we'll see. I mean, essentially this is me uploading the malware to that server. So again, the whole point of this isn't really to dig into Metasploit, but I just wanted to show that. So now when we go back and look in NSX, we can see here that those events have triggered new events in the IDS log, right? So you can see right here, if we look at the timestamp, 10:20 a.m., and then down here in the bottom of the screen on the server here, and we can see go through the chain initially starting at 10:19. You can see all these entries starting right here at 10:19, identifying the EternalBlue standpoint. EternalBlue, we can see what it's on. This is a 2008 server. We can also see the actual CVE itself. We can dig down into all these, but we can also see the details. Here's the server I was on. Here's my server I was attacking. Now, the important thing is here is this is just IDS. Let's go ahead into the distributed firewall really quick, where I have some rules defined already. And we're just going to go ahead and look at, right now I'm allowing traffic, obviously purposely, from these boxes to the Kali host and from the Kali host to those boxes. That's for Metasploit. And then I'm kind of just putting some block rules in because I don't want this traffic getting outside of these segments, right? I'm using, tools in here to do some sort of penetration testing, and, I don't want any bad stuff happening. So I kind of isolate everything off. But now let's just say we have a typical rule that, if we want to block traffic between that Kali host and those 2008 servers, and this highlights again the efficiency of microsegmentation. Now when I go ahead and try and run that exploit, it should fail. So let me get out of here again. We're going to try and run the exploit now. And when I do that, the exploit should fail, and there it goes, it fails right away. Because it can't connect, right? It's trying to connect on 445. That traffic is not being allowed now, right? So again, if I do need to allow port 445, for SMB traffic, then I would go ahead and maybe set like the SMB version, because allowing 445 is how this exploit works. So here, if we go back and look in vSphere, on my 3-tier application, let's say I was looking at a 3-tier application, I would only allow like 443 to the web server, right? So I would never allow 445 anyway. So again, in a properly segmented environment, this is why something like WannaCry fails, right? Now, again, this is not looking at like layer 7 attributes or anything like that. But if you want to shut down something like this that works on a port, like, for SMB, for WannaCry, is pretty easy because none of those applications should use that port anyway. And again, just highlights why wouldn't I just use micro segmentation? Again, here, super simple. I'm using a vSphere 7 deployment, so my NVDS switches, I can deploy them on an existing VDS, so I don't have to go ahead and create an NVDS or anything like that. And then I have the ability to, at that point, segment these applications, which we've done a little bit here. One of the other things I like to do here to kind of tie it all together is then come back and maybe look at NSX intelligence, especially if I have something like an IDS event. Of course, I'll have a log of IDS events that I'm going to have to go through, and that's one of the challenges with IDS. But if I have something pop up like WannaCry, that's not a false positive. So I'm going to go in there if I see that sort of traffic, and maybe I want to drill down by a specific VM. In this case, we can say computers. We see that traffic was coming from that SMB. In this case, we have our Kali Metasploit box that could be a compromised box on the network. Those are the ones I want to include and see, maybe not just in the last hour. Let's look at the last 24 hours. We could look at the last week. And all of a sudden, I need to start figuring out, hey, look at this. This Kali Metasploit box is generating all sorts of traffic. I got this 2008 box that's potentially been compromised. So maybe I want to go through and actually look at the rules. Maybe I want to generate a whole, new firewall policy using NSX intelligence. So again, there's a lot of capabilities when I get in here. And the idea is being able to go end to end and really put it together, starting with looking at the IDS capabilities so we can actually see the threat happening in real time. And then going ahead and, whether I just create a firewall rule to isolate something there, or if I go off and to actually use NSX intelligence. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a really high level overview, but it just shows you some of the really cool advanced security features that we've added into NSX-T, and you're going to see a lot more security related capabilities as we move forward. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your day.